Hi there and welcome to today's tutorial on creating filters for lab physicians in NexUs 360. So we're just going to log in as an administrator here for the purpose of this demo. It doesn't matter, but there might be things that I can do that you will not be able to do depending on your privileges provided by your lab manager. So we're logging in as the administrator. Now this particular account has two-factor authentication enabled, so I've got another code sent to my smartphone and I'll just enter that here. That code will change over time. So the very first thing is when we log in, if we have a look at our studies tab, assigning lab physicians will vary depending on how you set up group permissions, how you set up the study access rules, and there's other video tutorials on YouTube that will help you to understand this. Very simply though, what we're looking at here is if we have preset up the group permissions so that all physicians can see data from multiple physicians' accounts, okay, so not only their own, so they've been given access, but then what they want to do is be able to go in and filter to see their own studies just for ease of workflow. So the first way is looking at how do we actually assign a lab physician to a study. And just to be clear, lab physician might also be known as an interpreting physician or the reading physician. In NexUs 360, we call it lab physician. So here I've got a bunch of studies, and if we just look down here at James Smith, over to the right-hand side, we see it's on the red site on my particular server. What we'll do is go to the service details, so this blue folder over here on the left. Let's click on that. So this is a study that's already been recorded. So when the service details opens up, in the service tab here, immediately we can see just down here on the bottom right-hand side a lab physician field. And what I've done is I've set this up with various group permissions, etc. But I have a list of lab physicians to choose from. Here what I've done is assigned John Stefensky as a lab physician for this particular study only. Okay, so that's as simple as that. So if I change this, all I'd have to do is change the physician and press save, but we're going to leave it as John Stefensky for now. Okay, so once I've assigned that lab physician as John Stefensky, there's two different ways in which I can filter and have a look. So the first, I'm going to go back to the Studies tab. So if I click on my Studies tab here, so once I've selected the Studies tab and it's opened up, I can see from the top here that I've got no filters applied. So I'm seeing everything from date range, service type, status, or site. So I'm seeing a whole bunch of studies, and they'll be tagged to a whole bunch of different lab physicians. So what I want to do here is just go to this drop-down list and choose the physician I'm interested in. It's as simple as that. Just bear in mind that any of these drop-downs up the top, in order to activate them, you must select Apply Filter. Okay, so I've applied that filter, and that's done in the studies list. So what it's done is gone through and found every single study tagged to John Stefensky, and it's just populating that in the study list. Now we can see here that the date range on the left-hand side was set to all. And down the bottom in the very left-hand side here, we can see it's found 12 records. So 12 studies have been tagged to this physician. I was to go back up to the date range and just choose those studies that were done in last year but tagged to John Stefensky. Once again, I need to click Apply Filter. You'll see that 2 of those studies were recorded in last year. So this leads me into the second way of looking at studies by physician, and that's via the dashboard feature. Okay, so if we actually go back, click on NexUs 360, it'll bring us to our home page. So here we have a widget that's been set up for studies by physician. If we have a look at John Stefensky, we can see that over all time, 12 studies have been assigned to this physician. So that's the first way we could have a look at it. We could use this widget, which is studies by physician. But then what we could also do is up the top here, which I've pre-done. What I'll do is click on this view button and it turns it into edit mode. So what I've done here in this particular widget, this top widget, is I've got a studies list. But what I want it to do is actually show me those studies tagged to a particular physician so that I then have very quick access to these studies. So I could go into my dashboard, it's all filtered, and I literally just click on the Profusion icon on the left-hand side, the purple or the blue icon, and that will open up my studies straight away. So how do I change these settings? Very, very simple. Once you're in edit mode here for the dashboards, click on this little settings icon, and you can see here, I've created a title, which matches over here on the left-hand side. I'm showing particular service types and status. The only filter here that I've put is for my lab physician, similar to the study list. Okay. There's one critical thing here on the dashboards, is date range. So what the dashboards will do is by default, it will show studies up to 1 year old. And that's so that this dashboard doesn't become too messy, because really it's a workflow enabler. So it's there to help you look through recent studies. So we don't have an option for all. If you wanted to look at all studies, then you go into the study list like we did before. But this is where I'm looking at John Stefanski studies from the last year only. Click OK, and once again, you can see here we've got 2 records, which are the same ones we saw in the study list when we applied these filters before. So using these features in Nexus 360 allow you to set up access for physicians to see each other's studies, but then by the same time also filter down, whether it be in dashboards or in the study list, so that they can see their own. And a very last point that we hadn't yet mentioned is that drop-down list, that filter list, does not only have to be one option. So if you wanted to select multiple physicians from the list, you could. So for example, if I was looking at John Stefanski studies only today, then I had another physician went on holidays and I had to look for theirs for a transitionary period, I could quickly apply that filter so that I could see my own and somebody else's just for that interim period, provided I've got access via the study rules. And then it's as simple as that to navigate through my workflow. Well, I hope you found that tutorial interesting, and thanks for your interest in the Nexus 360.